In a chapter named Reflection of Light is Curved Surfaces. In this lesson, previously we are discussed in introduction part. Now we are going on the finding the normal axis. How we can find the normal axis? What is the meaning of the normal axis? First, we want in the normal axis. Just you see there, any one of the substances. If you take any substances and perpendicular to the any surface, perpendicular to the any surfaces, we called normal axis. If you take this 90 degrees, exactly 90 degrees are present, then only we are called normal axis. Perpendicular to the any surface is known as a normal axis. Now, if you are finding the how we can find the spherical curved surface, we are informing you how we can identify the normal axis to the curved surfaces that we want. In a plane surface we can identify plane surface, how we can find the normal axis. We know already what is that meaning. Perpendicular to any surface. If you take the four nails inside to the surfaces exactly on 90 degrees, and it is also, if you take the all nails, you think about the nail and you think about the rubber set insert in all four nails perpendicular to the surface. Then what we call these are all names. It is a normal axis. Normal axis. Similarly, in a spherical mirror type, if you bend these two only, example, if you take this rubber stick, here four nails are there. This is inserted in a perpendicular to the rubber sheet. It is exactly on the normal axis. This is what we call normal axis. Exactly perpendicular to each other. Yes. And now this sheet only, rubber sheet, if you bend towards the center, yesterday we are discussed, right? It is a previous part. And we can say that it is geometrical circle. You can see center of curvature, and mid part of the circle we can say mirror, and reflecting surface is inward and non-reflecting surface is outward direction. Then what we call this is concave mirror. And we want to know how we can identify the normal axis into the spherical surface. How can you find the normal axis into the spherical surface? Just use this rubber sheet only, bend towards the center direction. All nails are exactly coincide to the point. Then it's a prolong this line. It is exactly coincide. That is what we call normal axis. And then that is, if it is this all nails, if this sheet, rubber sheet is bent toward the normal axis, all nails are coincide in one point. That is what we call center of curvature. This point is what we call center of curvature, and this is we can identify the normal axis. We can check the normal axis. Before it is a perpendicular to the surface only, all points is perpendicular to the surface, but it is coincide the point, you can say center of curvature, and whenever remove this, it is slowly coming same as the plane mirror normal axis we can identify. When bend toward the center, we can identify this is what we call the concave mirror. In outer surface is a rough and inner surface is a smooth, reflecting surface are present. We can say concave mirror. And similarly, one more, if you want how we can find the normal axis to the convex mirror. Means you see, it is a normal non-reflecting surface and bend toward the center. It is a complete circular present in one part we will say that is mirror. That type of what we call this is convex mirror. Convex mirror. This convex mirror is also how we can determine the center of curvature, center point how we can find, as well as normal axis how we can find. It is very easy. You can take the all first nails insert it to all nails, bend towards the center, then it is all nails coincide exactly to the nail. See, prolong this line. This is what we call center of the mirror. So this is only in the rubber sheet only. But this experiment or this activity, we can identify the normal axis, or we can based on the this is bent toward the center. Reflecting surface is away from the surface. Reflecting surface is outward, and the non-reflecting surface is a bent toward the center. These all nails are prolonged and exactly coincide to the center. Then this type of mirror is called as convex mirror, and this is always this light is a diverging. It is not a converging. That's why it is also we can say diverging mirror. And this is what we call a convex mirror, or also you can say diverging mirror. And similarly, if it is removing the slowly, it becomes the same normal axis. So once if it is bent towards the always is bent towards the center, reflecting surface is inward to the center direction. You can say concave, and identify purpose in the perpendicular to the surface exactly is there only. Again, if it is a non-reflecting surface is bent towards the center, you can say that is convex mirror. So by this activity, we can find the normal axis. And similarly, sir, if in case complete circle, how we can find the normal axis? Complete circular present, how we can find it? How to determine the normal axis? Complete circle. If you take this complete circle, any one of the direction, if you take a perpendicular, tangential, nothing but it is the radius of curvature from the center to the plane. If you draw the line, then it is what we call radius of curvature. This is also we can say normal axis. What do you call that thing? Normal axis. So this normal axis is also any place it is we can arrange that. If it is takes a little part, then you say that depending on the spherical and reflecting surface which direction. This is what we call, and radius of curvature we know, normal axis we know. Anyway, always is perpendicular is exactly how much are they want? 90 degrees. Whenever 90 degrees are present, then only we will decide that is normal axis. Then you will see that normal axis to find it. Okay. And one more, if you want, and this is also big one, it is basically easily visible. Refills. Here is also we can have one more activity. You will take a rubber sheet or sponge. It is example you will take, it is visible for all clearly for this is nails. And if it is inside the rubber sheet perpendicular to the surface, anyway, normal axis nothing but defined as perpendicular to the surface is known as a normal axis. Perpendicular to the surfaces is known as a normal axis, and inserted in all three nails. Think about the nails in all exactly in one side, one perpendicular to surface. Then you can say it is a plane. One side is a reflecting surface. You think imagination. Then this is what we call the plane mirror. This is we call the plane mirror. And we are drawing the, we are underlined inserted inside the perpendicular. Then these all points we can say is normal axis. This is all points we can say normal axis. And this is inserted whenever this reflecting surface we are informing bend toward the center direction. Then you will say this is what we call the concave mirror. Reflecting surface is inward direction, and this point is center of curvature. This point is center of curvature. From center to pole between length is known as a radius of curvature, and this is the spherical shape of the pot. This is what we call reflecting surface is inward to the center. That's why that what we call this is a concave mirror. And similarly, if it is this is plane, removing this roll again becoming the same as it is in the plane mirror, and we can identify the as it is normal axis. Bend to away. It is a, if in case it is a reflecting surface is this side, non-reflecting surface is this side. This rubber sheet is bent toward the center direction. Then we will decide this is what we can say it is a convex mirror. These are all points we can say it is a normal only. Why? Because of these points is traveling through the center point. Anyone is a light ray travel through the center, then we will decide that the normal axis. So all points is normal axis only. Why? Because if you remove this, it's a perpendicular to each other. If it bend towards the center, non-reflective are bend towards the center, then you will decide that is a convex mirror. If it is a complete circle, whatever we have the doubt incomplete, circle are presented like it is a round circle, then round circle is presented, exactly is coincided to the straight line. This is also we can say tangential to the surface direction. Tangential. This is also what we call, it is this light ray is also traveling through the center. Whenever traveling through the center, then you will decide this is normal axis. So here is also normal, this is also normal, this is also normal axis. So all points is also perpendicular to each other, that's why we will say normal axis. So we can understand finding the normal axis. First basically we will take the perpendicular to the surfaces. Then only we will decide the normal axis. We have discussed the reflection of light in curved surfaces. This curved surfaces is depending on the light intensity. And to verify this, we must first find out the some ways of obtaining a beam of parallel rays. How we can get the parallel like this? That we will see. If you take the intensity of light, source of light, is given the nearest. If you take the upper sheet here, upper sheet nails is arranged in the top. Two nails is inserted. Light rays is formed. Light rays is formed on the two nails. It is very form. It is nearest near to the object. Both nails are diverted in an opposite direction. Shadow is from different direction, diverge. And similarly, in this light source, if it is a very far away, if it is arranged far away, then what will happen? We will get the diverging or parallel images formed. That we will see. If it is we are arranged in that same position of the upper sheet is arranged and two nails is inserted inside the wooden or upper sheet, then what will happen? If this light ray source is from in the on the object, yes, then these two rays is images is found, which is a parallel. Both are is formed parallel. So this is parallel both. Here is a formed image, shadow of image is formed parallel to each other. What is the difference between these two? Here, intensity of light source is more. Intensity is more, and here light intensity going on very far away, intensity is less. That's why image is formed parallel to each other. Shadow is formed parallel to each other. Here is a diverging, here is a parallel. So due to the reason intensity is more of, if it is going to the nearest to the object, it is a diverging, and if it is going very far away, it is becoming the parallel. We are discussing about that. Similarly, if we are selected in both two nails inserted in these two nails to the rubber sheet, then what will happen? If it is a light ray, is on the light source. Suppose two nails are inserted to the vessel or rubber sheet, then what will happen? Practically we are observing. Suppose this two here is a formed, now very far away, it is the shadow is formed parallel. Shadow is formed parallel. Observing carefully, here is a formed shadow. Is here it is a, here is start images shadow is formed parallel. If it is going to the nearest, what will happen? You see, it is a diverting pole. Very near, then what will happen? These two is a diverting. Shadow is from different direction. And now we will go to the far end, then what will happen? Parallel to each other. So intensity of light is very less. Intensity of light is very less. It is parallel. And if it is a intensity is more or there, it is a diverting. So this is we can understand to verify this we must faster find out some way of the object in here is a beam of parallel rays is formed depending on the intensity of light. How can you show? Means by using this experiment we can identify easily by this experiment. Okay.